Hey, hello everybody. Hi guys, how are you going? Welcome to MMW Day with your girl Reg. If you're watching this, you just know that you made it to Wednesday and you are chilling with me. And like I always say, life is good, God is great, and situations are awesome. When we go through situation and challenges in life, guess what? They make you unbeatable, unbreakable, and man, you are undefeatable. This is the African story. So wherever you're joining me from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day. And believe me, I am going to KISS, keep it simple and stupid. And we will be out of here in time. I am so thrilled that you're joining me today. So let's just dive into it. So this week was meant to be our all things relationship week. However, I got a request from one of our viewers asking me to talk about mental health. Wow. So here, guys, here we go. Today we're talking about mental health. So yes, what is mental health? What is mental health? If I were to ask you right now, tell me what mental health is, what would you say to me? First of all, that's the wrong answer, okay? He is not crazy, she is not crazy, or they're not weak. No, they are not weak because they're experiencing alteration in their mental state. So, mental health is the health of your mental state, how healthy your mental state is. That's mental health. Mental health is not the absence of mental illness. It is having a sense of calling and a sense of purpose. It is about being in tune with your emotions and your thought processes. Mental health is how well we as individuals manage the stresses that we experience, the setbacks that we go through, the negative experiences that we have gone through that have caused us to that has caused us trauma, and how well we bounce back from those traumatic experiences that we've gone through. That is what mental health is. So, what causes alterations in one's mental health? Some of the things that causes alterations in one's mental health is living in a chaotic environment, experiencing stresses from work, school, home, in a social life, going through traumatic experiences that alters your mental or your brain functionality, being repeatedly exposed to a negative or bad experience over and over again, and living in a country where you've experienced war and where death is normal. All that can cause an alteration in one's mental health. So, how do you recognize abnormalities in your mental state? Pretty much what I'm saying is, how do you know that something is not right with your mental state and how you think and how you process your thought and how you process your emotions? So, a few things I've listed on here is number one, you as an individual have to come to a full disclosure that something is not right, that there is something not right, and that you need to talk to somebody and that you need to seek help. When you experience a situation that puts you off, like you experience a normal situation, but that situation just puts you off, and you go from being here to like off the roof, and people are just like, what? Did they really responded, or did they really reacted because of that little thing? So when the little things that are unnecessary put you off, you just know that well, something is not right. And also being unable to withstand a situation that you normally would, finding comfort in risk-taking behaviors that are detrimental to your physical health, when your judgment to make informed decision is impaired, also having increased paranoia, fear and anxiety is an abnormality in your mental state, feeling unsafe even when nobody is after you, having superficial ideation about things and about people, feeling fearful all the time and having panic attacks all the time is a sign that there is something not right with the way your mental state is and how you're processing information. And also constantly running away from people and to hide yourself, to be in isolation, pretty much social withdrawal, where you don't want to be around people, you just want to be by yourself, you just want to spend time together. These are all alterations, these are all abnormalities and signs that okay, something is not right with my mental state. I need to find help, I need to seek help, I need to talk to somebody. So what are the common mental illness that we see all the time? There are many of them, but I've just put down few ones that we see in our community and the people around us that we can recognize. So some common mental health illnesses are eating disorder, finding comfort in food and then disregarding the consequences, stress and anxiety, having phobia, depression, bipolar, and personality disorder. Today you are this, tomorrow you're something else. Post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia is one of them, and obsessive compulsive disorder. If you need any information about other of those common mental health illnesses that I've listed on here, please feel free to contact me and I'll print a brochure for you. So we continue. Let's talk about what mental health looks like in Africa. right? Let's talk about Africa for a minute. How do we improve mental health in Africa? How do we promote mental health in Africa? Well, I've come up with one simple answer. We can promote mental health in Africa by creating a supportive environment, and we can all agree that supportive environment contributes a lot to how people respond and how people receive information. So creating a supportive environment is one of the main things that Africans and the people in Africa need to create for people who are going through mental health. So let me tell you what that supportive environment is. That supportive environment can reduce stigma, okay? It can include the way mental health is presented in the media. That supportive environment can include taking away the judgmental looks, gestures, and comments when people realize that someone close to them or somebody is having a trouble with their mental health or with their mental state, or having trouble with the way they process their thinking. That supportive environment can include promoting comfort for people who are struggling with their mental health. That comfort can include educating them how to deal with those mental illnesses, telling them that they don't need to run away, they don't need to hide themselves, that although they have a mental illness, yet they can coexist with people in the society. That supportive environment can be providing services that people who are going through mental health know that services are available to them, that they can speak up knowing that it is normal to speak up about mental illness, and that supporting facilities are available to them and for them. And also, that supportive environment can be continued talks and education around mental health and how people respond to mental health, what to do and how to talk and who to talk to, and letting people know that they don't need to be afraid, that it is normal to go through things like this, and you can talk. When you talk about mental health continually around people and educate them, those who are going through mental illness will feel comfortable to step forward because they know that it is a norm. That supportive environment can also be that making services readily available, not only for people who are wealthy, but also for people who can afford those services, knowing that although they don't have money, but yes, still they can afford those services without paying any money for it. That supportive environment can also be parents, be approachable to your youth, be approachable to your teenagers. Don't wait for them to come to you. Don't be harsh onto them. When you realize that, okay, there is something different about my child, reach out to them. Be calm, be a friend to them so that they can talk to you, knowing that you're not going to judge them, you're not going to stigmatize them, you're not going to chastise them, that they can always talk to you. That supportive environment can be schools, including mental health teachings and mental health materials in the curriculums, and continually teaching schools, children, youth, teenagers about mental health, what it is, what to experience, how to deal with it when the time comes, and how to respond to it. That supportive environment can also include providing free resources, free seminars, and practical demonstrations of what a mental illness is, how to recognize it, and where to seek help. So, supportive environment in Africa is a huge thing. If you want to eradicate mental illness, if you want to promote mental health, if you want to reduce mental illness and the stigma associated with mental illness, firstly, you need to start with creating a supportive environment for the people who have experiencing mental illness so that they can step forward knowing that they will not be judged and that services are available to them. Let me tell you a quick story about myself. I am a registered nurse, a motivational speaker, and also a Christian. Yeah. And like you, I've gone through a lot of things myself, okay? I've faced rejection, I've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences. I have faced negativity, I've faced bullying, my character has been stained for no reason. People was just single me out for no apparent reason. I went through shame, I went through embarrassment, I went through disgrace, pain, abandonment, and loneliness, okay? And I was labeled with the wrong title, and people judged me every time I went out. Okay, when people see me, they saw me in the lenses of what other people said about me, about the character that was stained, about my character that was stained. And because I was so resilient, I kept pushing, right? I kept pushing and I held myself down and I felt good and I felt that, okay, my thought is good, I am feeling good, nothing is wrong. But one thing I forgot is that everything that I've experienced, all the trauma, all the negative experiences, I buried them inside of me, I covered them up with something else and I kept moving. And I felt like, okay, you know what? I've overcome those experiences, I've overcome those trauma. And then one day, I started experiencing panic attacks. That's right. I started experiencing panic attacks. I started having paranoia behaviors. And I started feeling fearful. I was anxious and fearful about the future, about things around me. And I wasn't willing to do anything. Meanwhile, it took me a few conversations with somebody to realize that I had a problem. Okay, I had to engage in a close communication with this person that made me pull myself out and say, okay, something is wrong with me, because something that I was not started to come out. Okay, all the panics, all the suspicious behavior, all the paranoia behaviors, all the fear, all the anxiety, everything started coming out of me. And I'm going like, oh, okay, you know what, I have a problem. And straight away I booked myself in for a counseling session to gain control of myself, my thought processes, and how to manage my behavior. So you see, you're not the only one, okay? You're not crazy. You know, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not alone. You don't have to hide yourself. You don't have to isolate yourself, because there are people who've gone through that. Look at me, I've gone through it. Okay, but it took me somebody to realize that I've got a problem. And when I realized that I had a problem, I had to find a solution. And my solution was to seek a counselor. And my solution was to pray that God take away all those things from me. So you don't have to hide, you don't have to judge yourself, you don't have to feel crazy. All you need to know is that you're just going through a difficult time at the moment and you need extra bit of support. You need to get that support.